Shogun 2 received and started to download an update, which is unusual. It doesn't happen very much, every few years at most. So whenever this happens, I'm real interested because I want to see Shogun 2 be improved. So naturally I was really curious about what this update was, and they left a post here and it says Shogun 2 minor technical update. We've just done a minor technical update to Shogun 2 chat rooms. This should have no impact on your game experience. So did they fix the Kisho ninja of the Hattori or the Tokugawa being broken like this second comment says here? Nope. Did they fix Yari Samurai to have Yari Square? Nope. Did they fix firebomb throwers so that they're not made completely redundant by Kisho Ninja? Nope. Did they improve anything about the game that I could list that it needs to make it better, that they could so easily, effortlessly fix? Things that are just obviously wrong with the game, that don't even adhere to their own design principles and intended balance? Nope. What they did was this shit here, made a technical update to Shogun 2 chat rooms, they say. So we had to figure out what this entailed because this is all we saw. So what did they actually do? They got rid of the group chats. They got rid of them. You can no longer make group chats. They just made a patch that disabled group chats. And this comment here really sums it up. It's really bizarre and disingenuous to say that this is a minor technical update as if you were improving the game. You technically updated the chat rooms by removing them entirely. Come right out and say that you removed them. Why this weird veneer? Why do it at all, in fact? This game is 9 years old and never had a problem caused by chat rooms. Meanwhile, near-decade-old bugs like no Ikuiki Warrior Nuns and inferior, superior Hattori and Tokugawa Kisho Ninja are still prevalent, still being asked to be fixed by fans, and you still can't be bothered to do anything, but you can be bothered to come back after 9 years and remove chat rooms for no reason at all. I seriously do not understand. This is so incredibly bizarre. This post may as well be titled, The Future of Shogun 2 Chat Rooms. .lc up to its dodgy tricks again. Remember Red Shell, whatever that means. Hello, bring back the chat. People just asking for fixes. People asking to prevent cheating on Avatar. Alright, so yeah, this is what they describe. There used to be a create chat room thing here, so people could organise themselves into groups and chat together, and it made it easier for players to coordinate. Like if there's a tournament going on, you can make a group chat and coordinate from there. But now, all you have is a public chat, and it doesn't end there. They've now cordoned off people into their own tiny pools because we are now region locked. I could not see the messages of people on my Discord server when they were posting them in the public chat, and they couldn't see mine. But they could see messages from people that were in the same country as them. So it seems like there's a region lock in place now as well. So they are just cutting people off from each other in the Shogun 2 lobby system. They're making it more difficult for people to communicate with each other. And I find it interesting that this is happening when I'm just days after hosting a tournament in Shogun 2, a game that to this day is the only Total War game that has an actual proper multiplayer effort involved, which is why we're still hosting tournaments on it after 10 years. So they're just crippling the one time they actually made an effort with multiplayer, taking it down. And this isn't the only time they've done something like this. For my video, The Gutting of Total War's Multiplayer, I drew attention to the fact that there was a petition with 600 signatures for when they tried to just let Shogun 2 multiplayer die completely. They've already tried to let Shogun 2 die. After 2 months of mailing with support at Sega, the respective department still fails to leave a single reply. Even by phone, CA does not reply to our issues. Therefore, with this petition, we hope CA will fix their servers and make Shogun 2 playable again. And then finally, they actually managed to repair it. It's as if they were just letting Shogun 2 fail and hoping it would just disappear. I mean, it's obvious that they don't care about maintaining Shogun 2. They have no respect for it whatsoever. They already let it nearly die. So the idea that they would just come back and try to fix things about it with an update, as they call it, a minor technical update, that is just bullshit. They don't care about it whatsoever. So someone made a Reddit thread drawing attention to this. CA just removed chat room feature from Shogun 2 multiplayer. Why remove existing features from a game 8 years down the line? Good question. They're going back to a game 8 years old that doesn't even get basic patching to fix simple rudimentary problems, and they're removing systems from it. And it had 440 upvotes after a day, and a CA representative responded. There were some incredibly inappropriate names in there that opened us up to legal issues. Legal issues? So after 8 years, they are claiming that having chat rooms in their game that you could name and chat in opened them up to legal issues. What the hell is this? What legal issues? What country is this talking about? Where would the legal issues come from? What body would enforce them? And what law are you scared that you would end up on the wrong side of? And why is this only an issue now after 8 years or 10 years? When has a game developer ever been prosecuted over a fucking chat lobby system in one of their games? What the hell is this? We've had game lobbies where kids are just screaming abuse at each other in between rounds all day long. Everyone remembers Modern Warfare 2. And there wasn't a single bit of action brought against Infinity Ward for that. Just day in, day out, over and over again for years. Kids screaming the most horrendous shit at each other, abusing the crap out of each other all day long, and Infinity Ward never got into trouble over that. Also, direct messages. I mean, when has this ever been a problem for any other game developer? What legal issues? This is just such obvious bullshit. This is nonsense. And why does this only appear here now? Legal issues were not brought up in this post, but they are being brought up now. It's almost as if they hoped that this would just slip under the radar and no one would raise a fuss about it. But now that we have a Reddit thread that has 450 upvotes, they're finally having to comment on it in a bit more detail, and they're just giving bullshit. This is just nonsense. We have to just assume that this is absolute bullshit until we get an actual proper explanation. They've just removed a part of the game. They're disassembling their game piece by piece after already trying to let it die, and they're bullshitting us about it to make it even worse. I just hate this. This is such absolute nonsense. Alright, let's look at the posts on this thread. So we still have not gotten a patch to fix the clan-specific Kisho Ninja and the Hattori clan pack, yet CA takes time to remove functionality because peeps were being a bit cheeky. How about instead of CA washing their hands of a product that they never delivered upon, they patch Shogun 2 so that anyone can host a server, then CA doesn't have to be associated with any cheeky or creative names in chat? Fuck recent CA decisions, sounds like they're going downhill. Yeah, is it just me, or are CA just trying to sabotage every bit of legacy that they have with good games? They just trashed Rome Total War with that lazy remaster. They've just murdered 3K, which was their one modern effort at a non-Warhammer title. And now this, Shogun 2, the one time they actually made an effort with a good game that plays well and it's multiplayer, we get this. And I think it's fascinating that on this game that is still being played 10 years later, we still have people that are coming across this game at the start of lockdown in 2020, getting really good at the multiplayer, getting really invested in it, and starting YouTube channels covering Shogun 2. This game is still alive, and not only are they not improving it, building on it, making it better, but they're actively sabotaging it. It's just disgusting. It shows where the priorities lie. It's almost as if the only thing they care about is Warhammer and how it's perceived. They must really think that Shogun 2 is a threat to them, because to this day, Shogun 2 has arguably the most tactical, satisfying, immersive multiplayer experience that Total War has on offer. In a lot of ways, it's the best at what it does in the whole of real-time tactics. This is a game where you have Total War in multiplayer, and it's really competitive and tactical and patient and methodical, and modern Total War games just cannot contend with that whatsoever. Shogun 2 remains the best at what it does, so rather than trying to build on it and being proud of it, they're just sabotaging it. It shows what their agenda is. How about instead of dismantling Shogun 2, they give us something better than Shogun 2 to play instead? Wouldn't that be a sight? And this is another thing. This makes absolutely no sense purely on the grounds that other Total War games have the same chat system. It's so obvious that they're singling out Shogun 2 for this unfair treatment. As this comment here describes, how come Shogun 2's chat is the only one disabled whilst other older games like Total War Napoleon still have theirs enabled? And right enough, You can do the exact same thing in Napoleon right now, Ashigaru immigrant sex chat. So if this is what they're talking about with legal issues, of course they haven't specified, and that's another reason to just think that they're talking out their ass. They haven't said what it is that was causing them problems, and whatever it is that they would say, you can do the exact same thing in Napoleon right now, so they're just so obviously talking out their ass and singling out Shogun 2 for unfair treatment. The hot Ashigaru sex chat has migrated over to Napoleon because of this. Yep. And then look at this here, look at what they're saying on this subreddit, this absolutely ridiculous subreddit. If possible minors are engaging in inappropriate conversation through the chat system, then yes, that could most definitely open them up to legal issues, severe legal issues. What the fuck are you talking about? This is just absolutely absurd. People are just making this shit up. They haven't said this. This is just absolutely ludicrous. And this subreddit, this is all that they do on here all day long. They're just making shit up all the fucking time. They make shit up about me, they make shit up about other YouTubers, they make shit up about anything they come across. They have no integrity whatsoever, they have no rigour whatsoever, they just fabricate anything that they think will get upvotes. And most of the time that plays right into CA's hands. Am I in the fucking twilight zone right now? People are defending this, going on about minors potentially being shown inappropriate content and inappropriate names. Fucking what? What the actual fuck are you talking about? Did any of you actually go to the hot Ashigaru sex chat? It was completely empty, dead, nobody talked there, and if they did, it was to make jokes, and the name of the chat was a joke. Why the fuck would child predators use Shogun 2? Fucking Shogun 2 to group minors? What minors are playing Shogun 2 right now in 2021? And what minors that are playing Shogun 2 in 2021 are participating in the chat? Which ones even know how to access it or would be willing to bother with an 8-year-old game's multiplayer mode? I think I need to go lie down. I am beyond confused. This is so surreal and strange. I'm seeing highly upvoted comments in this thread acting like it's a totally reasonable thing to think fucking pedos are grooming kids in a fucking 8-year-old game with monitored publicly accessible chats instead of, I don't know, Discord, Twitter DMs, Instagram, Facebook, fucking AOL, Skype, TeamSpeak, any number of other dozen dedicated chat apps, many of which are encrypted. No disrespect to Grace, I get that her hands are tied and that there's little she can say, especially if legal stuff is involved, but if the sex chat, a joke name that had no actual sex chat in it, was the problem, what on earth? And people are really losing their shit on this thread that's drawn attention to this. People are really annoyed about it. I think people rightly perceive this to be an attack on their favourite games. And look, we have moderators stepping in and deleting people's comments. And I actually know what this comment said. Here it is. What the fuck kind of rat bullshit are you and your fucked up MOBA games company on, blatantly lying about the removal of an online multiplayer feature in the last game to actually have made good gameplay yous have ever made? And that got deleted. Why did that get deleted? It's just ludicrous. Minor technical update, what the fuck, just say they're gone. Lol, a minor technical update means getting rid of it completely. Well, the last update to 3K should have been a lesson. In the future, we should look to content updates with a healthy dose of fear and terror. It's still up for Napoleon Total War, and even older and less played games, so clearly this isn't the reason. So people seem to realise that justification that was given was complete bullshit. It's obvious that it's bullshit from the fact that this was not asked for, was not announced, was incorrectly described as being an update, a minor technical update to the chat rooms, was then changed to legal issues, incredibly inappropriate names in there that opened us up to legal issues, and then when scrutiny happens, they have no further comment. So I think we should ask for further comment. Which body and which country were you worried were going to prosecute you over this? Which laws specifically? And when else has this ever resulted in what you're afraid of? If we don't get an answer, then it's safe to assume that this is bullshit and that we're going to have to fight for Shogun 2 to remain a game that we can play in the way we've always been able to. This is an attack on Shogun 2, I think, and an attack on everyone that wants Shogun 2 to continue. And you can actually submit a ticket to Sega support to complain about this and ask for this to be reverted, because this is bullshit and it's obviously bullshit. I've already done it. If you would like to do it, I'm going to give you the copy paste that you can use in the description along with the link. And if enough people complain about this, then hopefully they can reinstate the chat rooms and we won't see any further attacks on this game This game that to this day offers a multiplayer experience that is unparalleled in other Total War games after 10 years. Warhammer doesn't even have an army painter. 3K's multiplayer arrives late and is worthless. Troy's multiplayer arrived, months late or 6 months late, and it was just garbage and is completely dead. Shogun 2 is the one time they actually tried to make a complete Total War game, and the last time they had ambition, and we stand by it until something better comes along, and we are going to have to fight for this. So if you would like to fight for this, then I suggest you file a ticket to Sega, and likewise ask for a real answer about why this has happened. And I'm calling it right here. I was right about Rome Remastered being a pile of shit. I was right about Three Kingdoms being abandoned when I said that historical Total War is dead. I said that in February before Rome Remastered was announced and flopped. I said that historical Total War was dead, and then 3K got dropped. I'm calling it again. Shogun 2 is probably going to go offline again, and they're going to try and force it to die so that they can just keep rising up Warhammer without any competition. Warhammer will do a lot better when it isn't being contrasted to superior games like Shogun 2, so that is exactly what they want to happen, and I'm calling it. We are going to see more of this happen, and whenever it does, just remember I said it here. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, but they already tried to let Shogun 2 die, and we are seeing more little attacks on it by its own developers that have no respect for it whatsoever and don't value it whatsoever. So if you would like to see Shogun 2 stay online so we can keep playing it and keep hosting tournaments like this one here and have this superior gameplay available to us on this game that we all hold dear to us. And this is a game that people are still finding today and still appreciating. I still get comments from people saying they tried Shogun 2 because of my videos and they were amazed by it, that I was right about it with my critiques. And this is another thing. I contrast Shogun 2 with modern Total War games, and modern Total War games do not hold up favourably, so that's another reason that I think they would really want to see Shogun 2 just disappear and be forgotten. So we should not want to let that happen. Shogun 2 stands as a very good example of when Total War was being done well and was pushing boundaries and pushing limits. It had Avatar Conquest, it had naval battles, it had so much, and it was ambitious, and tournaments like these put that across so well, and people that are new to it are still coming to it and appreciating it to this day, and I would prefer if they could continue to do so for years to come, even if CA wouldn't. So check the description, file tickets, ask for proper answers on the forums, and maybe we can get to the bottom of this and never have any of this crap happen again. That's what I hope for. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And this is another thing. Someone actually made a post on Legal Advice, the subreddit, and asked, can a company be sued for chat room interactions and its products? And the answer that they gave was, there's no reason to think that that would happen. It's not a sensible concern. It's not sensible to be concerned about this. So I would really like to hear CA give a proper answer for why they're concerned about this. Thanks goes out to my patrons for supporting my work over on Patreon. Special thanks goes to Matteo Olivetti, Nerdington, the Rode451, Halcyon, and Robert Sparks.